There's a certain kind of tired that sleep can't touch. 8 hours, 10 hours, doesn't matter. You open your eyes and it feels like your soul didn't rest with your body. Like something inside you stayed awake all night, replaying old memories, holding invisible weight. You stretch, but the heaviness doesn't leave. Because this isn't the kind of fatigue you sweat out or fix with coffee. This is existential fatigue. The kind that whispers, "You've been surviving so long, you forgot how to live." And the strangest part? No one sees it. On the outside, you look fine. You work, you smile, you say all the right things. But inside, everything feels muted, like someone turned the saturation down on your world. People ask, "What's wrong?" You say, "I'm just tired." But that's not true, is it? You're not just tired, you're empty. See, there's a difference between being sleepy and being spent. Sleepy means your body needs rest. Spent means your soul's been overspending, giving energy to people, problems, and performances that no longer pay you back. That's the hidden economy of modern life. Emotional output always exceeding emotional input. We're taught to pour, to perform, to persist, but no one teaches us how to refill. And when you run that emotional deficit long enough, your brain starts making cuts. It says joy, too expensive. Excitement, out of budget. Hope, not this quarter. That's when the world turns grayscale, when laughter feels rehearsed, when music doesn't hit like it used to. When you start to think, maybe it's not the world that's dull, maybe it's me. But it's not you. It's depletion. The slow erosion of aliveness caused by years of pretending to be okay. Because somewhere along the line, you learned a dangerous rule. That peace has to be earned. That you can only rest once you've done enough, proven enough, become enough. But tell me this, what's enough in a world that keeps moving the goalpost? You finish one milestone and suddenly the next one is due. You keep running but you never arrive. And when you finally stop, even for a breath, the guilt comes crawling in, whispering, "You're falling behind." Behind what? Behind who? We never ask. We just keep running because stillness feels like failure. But maybe the real failure is forgetting how to be still. There's a quiet rebellion happening, though. A generation of people realizing that they've built entire lives around avoidance. Avoiding silence, avoiding stillness, avoiding themselves. Because silence is where the truth lives. And truth is heavy. You can distract yourself from it for a while with screens, with noise, with motion. But the truth always waits patiently. And when you finally stop running, it greets you like an old shadow. You've outgrown something. That's what emotional exhaustion really is. Not weakness, not laziness, but a signal. A message from the subconscious saying something in your life no longer fits who you've become. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your relationship. Maybe it's the version of yourself that's been surviving instead of living. But we rarely listen, because listening means changing, and change threatens the illusion of safety. So instead, we double down. We keep performing the same routines, repeating the same days, scrolling through the same digital hallways, until one morning we wake up wondering, when did life stop feeling like life? That's the quiet tragedy of our time. We are overstimulated but undernourished. Connected to everyone yet intimate with no one. Constantly achieving yet chronically empty. Because somewhere we started confusing movement with meaning.
The truth is, most people aren't tired of life. They're tired of the version of life they've been told to want. The one that glorifies grinding, worships productivity, and sells peace as a luxury item. We're rewarded for burning out, applauded for suffering beautifully. We post our exhaustion like medals. We say busy like it's a badge of honor, when in reality, it's a silent cry for help. You know what's wild? Your nervous system can't tell the difference between being chased by a lion and being chased by your inbox. Your brain only knows, I'm in danger. So it stays in fight or flight mode, pumping cortisol, draining dopamine, hijacking your joy. And over time, you forget what safety even feels like. Peace starts to feel foreign. And because it's foreign, it feels wrong. That's why rest feels guilty, because your body's addicted to chaos. It's the same mechanism that keeps people in bad relationships. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace. There's a concept in behavioral psychology called the sunk cost fallacy. It means we keep investing in something not because it's working, but because we've already invested so much. We do this with jobs, with people, with identities. We stay because leaving would make all the effort feel wasted. But what's truly wasted? The years you've already given, or the years you'll give if you stay? That's the question exhaustion forces you to face. The question that shatters illusions and births transformation. Because being tired of existing isn't the end, it's the beginning of radical honesty. The moment you stop pretending and start paying attention. It's the crack in the armor where the light starts to leak in. And yet, we resist it. We call it burnout, depression, midlife crisis. But sometimes, it's an awakening disguised as fatigue. Your soul is saying, I'm not dying, I'm evolving. I'm done playing a character I no longer believe in. But evolution isn't peaceful. It's messy. It requires you to question everything, your priorities, your values, even your definitions of success and love. And that's terrifying, because the truth will cost you the version of yourself that survived. That's why exhaustion often precedes enlightenment. The breakdown before the breakthrough. The silence before the song. So if you're in that in-between space right now, where everything looks fine, but nothing feels fine, I want you to consider something. What if your exhaustion isn't a weakness, but an invitation? What if it's your soul's way of saying, it's time to stop surviving and start living differently? Because the moment you stop running from your tiredness, the moment you listen to it instead of hiding it, something shifts. The performance cracks. The truth leaks out. And for the first time, you see your life for what it is. Not a failure, but a mirror. Every ounce of fatigue is feedback. Every tear is data. Your body, your mind, your emotions, they're all whispering the same thing. You've been strong for too long. But strength without rest isn't resilience. It's slow self-destruction. And somewhere deep down, you know that. Here's the paradox no one talks about. The people most tired of existing are usually the ones who've given the most. They're the peacemakers, the caretakers, the silent fixers who absorb everyone's chaos but never get to rest in peace themselves. They've mastered survival in chaos but never learned the art of rest in safety. And when you live like that long enough, even love starts to feel like labor. Even joy feels like a task. Even breathing feels like performance. But what happens when the mask finally cracks? When the performer steps off stage and realizes they don't even remember who they were before the act began? That's where we'll go in part 2. Because behind every exhaustion is a deeper truth about identity, desire, and the cost of pretending. And once you see that truth, you can never go back to sleep.